What is up, guys, and welcome back to Marvel Monday. Now, today's Marvel theme is Iron Man. I'm going to be trying to do these in order of like the mark suits that they are, not by release year, and I'll do that to the best of my ability and to my knowledge. Now, I've always liked Iron Man. I've always liked the tech and the suits and like all the different suits he has and like all the different looks that they span. So, this is the Mark 1 Iron Man. Now, this one has this single headpiece here, where it's this one piece where the face and the head part of the armor are the same piece. This is one of the only ones they'll talk about that has this. For this Iron Man suit, I think it works well, because this Iron Man suit did look bulky and didn't really have, like, the maneuverability. I love the silver color of this minifigure, the way the silver everywhere shines. And this back printing is super well detailed. You can even see the Stark like name on like the weapons that he built this from and everything, and all these gears in the back, and the gas tank looks super cool, and how this armor just definitely looks makeshift and like thrown together. You can, if you look carefully, you can even see his like blue jeans underneath the armor. Now that it also has the toe printing down here on the legs. There is no arm printing. None of the ones I'm talking about today will have any arm printing, but I am aware that there are some that have it. And if you look even like closely at the helmet, it has like sand marks on it and everything, because he built this out in the deserts. So yeah, I think this minifigure is super well detailed. It really nails the look of the Mark 1 suit. Now up next is what was once Iron Man's Mark II, but was then evolved into War Machine. I believe this is technically War Machine Mark II. Now this is an older minifigure than the last one, but as you can see, it still has almost like the same attention to detail. Even like the chest has all these letterings on them, and I like the red chest piece. It's a little hard to tell, but there is a red ring around this white chest piece here. It doesn't pick up super well on camera, but that's fine. And I like how it has this waist printing. It doesn't have quite the same silver as the other ones like actual model did. It's just this gray color here. And the back printing is also pretty cool. I'm not going to show it off too much because this headpiece is a little stuck. It does have this like Gatling gun that comes off the side that shoots, which is pretty cool. And this was Rhodey's suit, so as you can see, there's Rhodey underneath. And this is the helmet that most of these have, where it has like kind of the same side and back to the other one. However, the face here actually like lifts up and is like a separate piece. This design for the helmet is personally way better than this one over here. That one works for what it does, but one of the Iron Man I'm talking about later doesn't do it like this, and you'll see why I'm saying it looks really dumb. This is really all for the War Machine minifigure. Now, up next is the Mark V suit. This is the one that was like a briefcase that unfolds and turns into the Iron Man suit from Iron Man 2. I really like the headpiece for the armor. It has these black lines that come through it and like the eyes and everything. It still has the same mold as the last one, and some of these will have this like clear head on them, because a lot of these don't actually come with Iron Man in them. They're just like accessory suits, so a lot of these will have this clear headpiece on them. This chest printing is super nice, and this is a really accurate look to how the armor looked. Even down to the back printing, I like the silver and red look, how it's just like all silver and red. Now the next one we're going to be talking about are incomplete builds of these minifigures. Either the pieces have gotten lost or broken over time. But up next is the Mark VI armor. Now the main difference here is that it has this triangle chest piece here. I think this was the first Iron Man that I have, which is why I don't have enough maroon hands to give it. But yeah, there's no waist printing. It only has these leg printings here, which still for the time was really interesting, and I really like how they did it. And this is like the standard Iron Man helmet, where it has the red and like the gold on the face plating here. I don't have a Tony Stark head on this right now. I'm just borrowing a spare random head. Yeah, it even has this back print that's pretty nice. It's definitely one of the older minifigures, so it doesn't have as much detail as the others. Now, the next one is the Mark 7, and I do not have hands to put on this, nor do I have a helmet. I don't know where it went, but I did end up losing it at some point. But it has a similar look to the other one. I think actually this one I might have gotten first, because the detail is a lot less in this one. Like printing is pretty similar. It does have some slight differences in the look of it. And the back printing also looks kind of similar. These two suits in general kind of look similar. The real only like main difference that sticks out is the arc reactor shape. Now, I have a pretty big gap between the rest of the Iron Man suits. And while this is not a minifigure, I still want to talk about it because it is an Iron Man Mark suit that I have. And that is Igor, or Mark 37. It's kind of like a suit, but I'm not going to talk about the mech suits that I have, because those are more of sets than they are minifigures. But since this one is an Iron Man Mark specifically, and it's based off a very specific one, I do want to talk about it. So you can put Tony Stark or like an Iron Man in here, and then you can close it up on him. It is a good blend between functionality, like being able to put Iron Man in it, and having the sort of look that it had from Iron Man 3. It actually honestly doesn't look super great, but it works for what it needs to for the set, and it has a lot of these stickers of these striped patterns everywhere. So it's It's cool, but I wouldn't consider it one of my favorites. Now, up next is one of my favorites, and that is the Mark 41. Now, this one stands out so much from the other ones because it's this black and gold design, and this chest printing is astonishing. The amount of detail that is in this is so insane. This chest print has so much on it, even the waist and like the legs and the toes. All this has so cool printing. And I just love the black on gold look. I really do just love the black on gold look. I think it looks super well. Like this back printing as well is also like really well detailed. The helmet also has these black lines similar to the Mark V, but it is noticeably a little bit different. I love how this minifigure looks. It really stands out next to all the other Iron Man suits. Now up next is the Mark 42. Now this minifigure has faded a little bit in the chest here, but this is supposed to be like the same color gold. And I do like how it has the red arms, but yet still has these gold hands. And the detail on the chest for the time was a lot more detailed than like these two. Compared to the rest of them, especially the Mark 41, it doesn't look as detailed. And the back still isn't as detailed. But this always stood out from when I got it. And since this is technically the first one I'm showing you that has this is the Tony Stark face under it, or at least one of them. I mean, it's accurate enough. I think this face is pretty cool, and when it's in the helmet and flipped up, it looks cool. And this one does also have this secondary face on the back where he has this more angry face. That's the Mark 42. Now, up next is the Mark 50. And I believe this was the suit from Avengers Infinity War. And this suit really nails that whole look to it. Once again, this chest printing, it's not as crazy as the black and gold Mark 41. But as far as the red suits go, it is pretty well detailed. It has like 3 different colors of red on it, and it has silver and gold, and even like up top it has all these different parts to it. This is one of the Iron Man suits that I think really well flows everything together, from everything from the head to the chest to the leg print and the toes. It all flows really well. And this back printing is also pretty cool too. Now, one of the main differences as well with this one is that the eyes up here are actually this like light blue color. It might be a little hard to tell on camera. When you see these next to each other, it becomes a lot more clear that this has blue eyes. And the biggest difference is it has a different face print. Now, this front here is similar. It's pretty much the same. It's a little more updated though. However, it has this other side where you can put on so he looks like he's looking through the helmet. Now, when it's closed, you can't really see it, but when it's open with that, it looks pretty cool. It's pretty well detailed. I mean, he has all these, like, there are all these little lines over it and everything. So it's pretty cool, actually. Now, up next is the Mark 85, and this came in some of the Avengers Endgame sets. As you can see, it has a relatively similar chest print to the last one. I'm pretty sure this helmet is the same as well as with the headpiece. But this one has these gold arms which make it stand out from the Mark 50 over there. It's pretty much the same. The legs have a lot more gold on them, and the back printing is a little bit different. But this Iron Man also came with this shield here, which has a similar level of detail. Once again, since it's a sticker that you put on, it doesn't actually have the reflective gold that the Iron Man suit does. But it really makes this stand out more from the other Iron Mans that it has this little accessory here. The last minifigure I'm going to talk about is the one I mentioned when I was talking about the Mark 1 minifigure. And that is this Iron Man right here. Honestly, it's not that bad of a minifigure. I like the chest print, but it's still pretty well detailed, and it's still really cool. The difference here is that it has the helmet piece that the Mark 1 does. I can't stand this helmet when it's on like a modern looking Iron Man, because it just doesn't look very good with it. Like, it's supposed to have this like same design to it, and even it's supposed to be more slick. It just doesn't look good personally to me. I think it looks pretty dumb. It doesn't pick up as well on camera, but it just doesn't feel right to me. But like I said, it works well with the Mark 1 because that suit's supposed to look kind of bulky. It just doesn't work with this modern design for Iron Man. And once again, it does have the same headpiece as the last few I've talked about. It just kind of strikes me as weird, but it's an alright minifigure. Alright, and that is every Iron Man minifigure that I own. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Farted on the track. Farted. Oh yeah. Yeah! We love that Dumpster Kid video. We all do! For more, like and subscribe. Hit it! Turn on the post notifications. Do it! Even when you're on vacation, you'll get notified.